Hey Youtubians, it's Tony here from We Try Anything, channel I try anything so you don't have to. Today we're going to have a look at a very elegant looking watch, or a very sophisticated looking kind of retro style watch, and this one being the Casio AQ-230. This watch is it's an analog digital watch from Casio, and it's just nice to know. I mean, it's a bit Marmite that some people don't like the kind of classic look next to a digital display, but for me it's a watch that is classic in its looks, retro in the way it feels, but it has that kind of multi-function capability to it, really, in which you can do quite a little bit more than what the actual dial could do on its own, really. In this review, what we're going to do, we're going to take a look at the actual what the components of the watch. We'll take a look around the watch, really, and then what we're going to do is talk about some of the functions of the watch, and then we're going to pop it on our wrist and just say what it's like to wear, and if it's worth considering, really. Now, to kick things off, this watch is available in a few different colours and a few different styles, really. You've got this one here, which is a kind of metal look with the white dial, or off-white as some people would say. There is also a version which is available with a black dial, as well as one which is available in kind of all gold with a off gold looking dial window, or dial face as it were. And then finally there's also a dark metal version which has a blue dial to it, which seems to be more expensive than the rest, so I don't know if it's a rare one, but in this instance this one was quite cheap. I mean, I think you can get this on Amazon for just under, between 25 to 30 pound. So if it's something that you are interested in, there is links below in the description of the different colors I've spoke about. Now, to kick things off, it goes without saying this is an kind of an all metal effect watch. You've obviously got your metal strap here, or bracelet as it's known, which has a metal clasp there with the brushed metal effect, with the Casio emblazoned on there. And obviously, as you can see there, you've got the kind of clasp area there, which you can adjust by, I believe, you push them pins in and you move them up and down. But please correct me in the description below, because believe it or not, when I picked this up, or when I got this, it actually came to my settings, so I was very lucky in that instance. Now, just to talk about the actual watch face itself, very simple, very elegant in the way it looks, very classic Casio, really. It has obviously the Arabics around the side are not massive in terms of how it looks, and also it's got a very sort of simple hand for the hour hand and for the minute hand, but you will notice there's no second hand on it, so it is just simple in the way that looks there. The bezel going around the dial, I mean, obviously you've got this very small digital display there, as you can see, and obviously what kind of surrounds that is a kind of a polished metal effect look to it, really. Now, I've looked online at the kind of what that is made up of, and interestingly it says constant tough material, which when you look at the actual description of that, it says it's kind of like a plastic, which I find quite strange. I mean, it's not a heavy watch by any stretch of the imagination. Obviously you can feel the metal bracelet more than anything, and this does feel quite plasticky, really, so that kind of is a bit of a shock, really, because I thought this would be kind of full on metal, but I don't know, each to their own, really. And it does have a kind of a mineral, not mineral, a kind of acrylic dial window to it, which doesn't seem to attract any scratches on this one. So you just got to bear that in mind with any kind of acrylic or plastic effect, or plastic, as you were, plastic glass sort of dial windows as such, is that they do attract scratches, but this one seems to have got away with that sort of thing. So the actual size of the case, talking about the case, it is approximately 28 millimeters wide, so it's not a big watch by any stretch of the imagination. The actual thickness of the case is between 8 and 9 millimeters. The lug height I've measured is 38 millimeters, and the lug width is 18. So just to get that out of the way. Now, interestingly, you could probably replace this metal strap, because it's not, metal straps aren't really for me, but you could probably replace that with a nice leather, black leather one, or I don't know, maybe like a multicolored one if you'd like to kind of really stand out with it. But it's a watch that would suit quite a few other kind of color combinations as such, and as I say, it's a very simplistic affair. Now, the two things I will say, or maybe three in this instance, there's no lume on it, so there's nothing that kind of glows in the dark, so you're pretty much, unless you can get some modicum of light to reflect on it, you won't be able to tell the time. There's no light on it either, so you really are kind of in the dark with this one, to pardon the pun. It's got 3 pushers, two of which are protruding out here left on the left hand side of the watch, and you've also got this one here which adjusts the actual time, which I'll show you later. So this one here adjusts you know, like the digital display, so if you keep your finger on it there as such, it will adjust the time as you go through it, and it's quite easily done. And it also can feature 24 hours or military time, as they say in America, so you just change it from 12 hours to 20, well, 12 hours to 24 and then back to 12, depending on what you want to adjust it to. So it's quite easy to do. Now this one here, well, we'll talk about this one here. This one is where you adjust the time. So I've left this nail a little bit long, and what you do, you just push it in there, and if you leave it in there for a couple of seconds. Right then, just let's fast forward a month from where I've just left off, where I was talking about the actual how to change the time and what have you on this watch. Unfortunately, the reason why it stuck was that the battery was going, and I didn't realise that. So I've managed to kind of locate a battery for this watch, which was about £2 on Amazon, and I'll link to it below. There's plenty of videos on YouTube which are quite helpful to show you how to change the battery on this, which was very easy. So, you know, it took me 5 minutes, if that. You know, make sure you got some tweezers, a nail file, and a pin as well, just to unlock the battery, as it were. And it was pretty easy to do. So what I was just kind of showing you was literally, I mean, as you can see here, the time is 1:49 here. And what I'm going to use is a nail file, just to, because my nails aren't long enough on here. And I'm trying to do this via the camera, with the camera on, so you'll forgive me here. So just to get it to 150, you just press that in, and then what you'll see is that kind of sweeps round the second hand, and then eventually you'll get to the time that it is, and if you just press it, it will advance like by 30 seconds. So in this instance, I'll get it to 10 to 2, and there you go. And it's as easy as that, really. I mean, it's pretty easy to operate. And it's easy to adjust, and it was easy to change the battery. So, you know, it's quite an easy to live with watch, and especially as the battery was, as I say, £2, it was fantastic. So and what I'm going to do is just going to quickly pop it on my wrist, and then you can just see what it's like. Now there you go. That's what it's like on the wrist. I mean, you won't see many of these metal straps featured on this channel, because they always kind of nip my hairs, and I'm not a big fan of metal straps. But, you know, just to show you what it's like on the wrist, it is quite an elegant looking watch, and it is, to me, a little bit too small for my liking, and that's a massive shame. I mean, if it was just a touch bigger, then I would say this watch would be ideal. Now, the only thing is, I mean, obviously this is sold as a unisex watch, and while it's not like a kind of very dainty kind of watch that you do see for ladies, I do think that it is kind of more aimed at a lady who'd probably wear it to go out and what have you. I'm not going to show you how to adjust the straps, because simply I don't know how, so it's a case of, I'm afraid you're going to have to look somewhere else for that. But in terms of how it looks and stuff, it does have a very kind of classic, elegant look about it. And as I say, just the real small shame is, I mean, I wish it was just a touch bigger, just to, you know, kind of fit better on the wrist, really, or look better on the wrist. But in terms of how it looks and stuff like that, I mean, it is a great looking watch. And, you know, if you are interested in buying one, and you don't mind like the watch being a bit smallish on your wrist, as it were, it is easily legible. You know, obviously that you do have the small LCD screen here, but again, you know, it can feature a lot more than what you want it to, and especially with dual time and stopwatch and stuff like that, it really is a watch with many functions, and, you know, while still retaining that classic look. So, you know, I would give it a thumbs up as a watch, if you are looking kind of collecting watches like these. As I say, the only thing is, I wish it was just a touch bigger, and, you know, I would wear this daily. Plus, I'd probably get a rubber or like a leather band for it, just to kind of like a black band, just to contrast against the silver, or as it were, the kind of metallic effect that is on the actual bezel, or sorry, the outer case. But other than that, you know, it is a nice looking watch, and yeah, I would kind of, if you can get one, it's well worth getting. And as I say, the battery was for me, I mean, I did it myself, and it just took 5-10 minutes maximum, and it works straight away. So, you know, great watch. So I hope you liked the video, and if you did, then please give it a cheeky thumbs up. It always helps. And if you want to see more videos coming from the We Try Anything channel, then just click on the subscribe button below it. Again, it always helps the channel expand and grow, and gives me more opportunities to kind of feature more watches on the channel, which I do have 2 coming soon, and a few more other kind of things to review which aren't watch related. And also, if you like the video, as I said, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.